Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. I am Tanya Janca, and today I'm going to talk to you about what DevSecOps is. Things are changing, and we as security people, we need to change the way we are doing things. And so I am going to talk about how security needs to learn to sprint. So, all right. So I like to tell you what I'm going to tell you, then repeat what I told you to make sure that you get it and you know it. So we're going to talk about how security is everybody's job. So the security team can't actually do every single security activity. So a lot of our work is enabling others to be able to do their jobs securely. I'm also going to talk about how DevOps can be turned into DevSecOps and how security becomes a part of DevOps. That's what DevSecOps is. It is us as application security professionals adjusting ourselves and our activities to make sure that they weave nicely through the processes that all the dev and ops people are doing. So no more gates, no more stopping things or saying no all the time. Instead, we have to do a bit more improv and say, yes, I know you need to accomplish this business goal, but let me help you do that securely. So another thing we're going to talk about is how some people in security see DevOps. They see the magical DevOps unicorn pooping rainbows because they're so amazing. And then security people, some of them feel they're cleaning that up, but that's not what I see. Thanks to Francois, who you just saw, he made this amazing, beautiful slide that I absolutely love, where the security person is enabling the magical DevOps ponies. And they're giving them tools, helping them, teaching them, enabling them. And this is the way I view DevSecOps. So there is going to be this very positive slant on this, just in case you couldn't tell that's what was coming. So the mandatory about me slide. So look, there I am at another DevSecCon. So I'm Tanya Janca, and on the internet, so I like punk rock music a lot. On the internet, I am known as She Hacks Purple. Yes, some of my hair is purple. It's because I'm a purple teamer. Like I do red and blue team activities, so attack and defense types of activities. So purple team means you can't make up your mind. I am really obsessed with OWASP, the Open Web Application Security Project. I am one of the founders and am very enthusiastic about WOSEC, Women of Security, and I work at my company, shehackspurple.dev. Yeah, so I hope after seeing this, you're like, yeah, she seems worth listening to. I'm going to stay. Awesome. Let's do this. Okay, so let's learn some stuff. So I'm going to give you a few definitions because I never know the level of knowledge of the people that are coming to my presentations. And so this will just take 1 or 2 minutes to make sure we're on the same page. And then we're going to jump into cool new stuff. So application security definitions. So what is AppSec? I say AppSec a lot instead of application security because it's shorter. So every activity that you do towards the goal of making your software more secure is AppSec. It doesn't need to be super formal. You can have an application security program that's formal, but if you are hiring a pen tester to come in and assess the security of a web app, that's part of AppSec. If you are looking through your source code and you realize, oh, this input has no validation on it, oh my gosh, and then you add some, that's part of AppSec. It doesn't need to be really formal. All of it is fighting the good fight. And so that is what I consider enveloped in application security. And then I want to tell you why it's a bit of a problem. So insecure applications cause between 29 and 40% of breaches. I haven't updated this slide, but the Verizon breach report continues every year. And so we won the worst place or first place of causing the most breaches in 2016, 17, 2018, and now 2019. I want us to lose and not win this anymore. And here's one of this is from 2016. Look at us causing all the problems. Another reason for this is because application security is missing in schools. In post-secondary education, they're teaching people how to code, but they're not teaching them how to code securely. And even in high schools, they're teaching them, hello world, but they're not teaching them how to sanitize that input that they're getting. And so quite often the security courses that they get it's not enough to ensure that those software developers are making secure software. Another issue in our industry right now is that security is outnumbered. See her? See how she's all alone? That's me when I'm on like so many AppSec teams. I am the AppSec team, the whole team. And us being outnumbered makes it really, really hard for us to do a good job. So if we look at some of the numbers, there are approximately 10 operations folk and 100 software developers for every one security person. And I've never worked somewhere where my numbers were actually this great. It's usually hundreds of devs, just for me. And that means you can't just work harder. You have to work smarter. And the last thing in this is waterfall. So software developers are moving in droves towards DevOps because it works. It works so well. Waterfall projects in software development, not with construction or with hardware, it works well for those. But for software, around 70% I saw in a study fail. That's a lot of failed projects. And the security model that went with it, oh, not good, not good. And so now that Dev and Ops have like joined forces, I want us to join forces with them and not only be awesome at making kick-ass software, I want us to make kick-ass software that's secure. Okay, so what is DevSecOps? What is she talking about? What is everyone talking about at this entire conference for 24 hours? So my friend Imran said this. You saw Imran give the keynote for APAC. He's awesome. If you didn't see it, you should watch it later. He's amazing. So he taught me this. He's like, Tanya, DevSecOps is what we've always done. It's just us doing AppSec, but in a DevOps environment. Just change the way you do the things, but always shoot for the same goals. And I was like, gosh, this guy's so smart. And then I became his friend. So now I want to talk about what DevOps is and how their main goals fit in with the security's goals. A lot of people don't think about that, but their goals actually mesh really nicely with what we want. And so that's why we should be besties. So first of all, DevOps people want improved deployment frequency, right? They want this so that there's less risk, right? What I see is, oh, good, security emergencies can be fixed right now. That's awesome. So if there's actually an emergency, you can get that out right away, like a true emergency, not you're missing this one security header on this one page. No. I worked somewhere once in a waterfall shop and our release cycle was 16 months. And an emergency, the sky is falling situation, they said they could get a release out in 4 months. And to me, when I saw DevOps, it's like I can't tell you how enthusiastic I was as a security professional. Okay, lower failure rates. That sounds awesome too, right? Okay, so what they call it is resiliency. But if we look at, I'm sure you all know this is the mandate for IT security, the CIA triad. It is our jobs. We get paid specifically to protect the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability of the systems and the data that we create and collect. That's our job. And if you look at availability, that's almost like it means resiliency. What? It's like we have the same goals. If your app is always up because it's tough and it's rugged, that means it's always available. And that is security people resting really well at night. So this is good. So we are still on the same page with these DevOps folks. We like where they're going with this. So there's one more main thing that they aim for. faster time to market. I've had a lot of people say, Tanya, I don't see how this relates. And I have to disagree. There's no security team if there's no business. I don't have a job if we are not releasing software. I have actually given talks to security teams before as a consultant, explaining to them that they were the main threat to availability with all their gates that they kept pushing up. I'm like, we will go out of business if we follow your guidance. We have to release, we have to create products, we have to release features. It's your job to help us make sure we do that securely. It's not your job to stop us. And so security doesn't win if the business doesn't win. We lose then when we all get laid off. And so I feel that faster time to market, as long as we are still able to ensure that it's secure, is a win for everyone. And also I feel, as a side note, that security is a feature now. People are interested, consumers are interested in knowing, like, this product has had security testing. My parents bought a TV and it was a smart TV. And I was like, well, you have to only buy the smart TV that has actually had security testing done on it, because, and they were so proud that they picked the TV that had the security testing. And I was like, yes, because otherwise I was going to make them take it back to the store. But the point is like, we don't win. We as a security team, we lose if the business loses. Okay, so now we know, oh yeah, this is another quote from me. I feel DevOps is the best thing to happen to application security since the Open Web Security Project. I feel like OWASP is amazing, offering, like, the projects offering so much opportunity, tools, books, learning, all of these things, and the chapters around the world constantly teaching people and helping them network. DevOps is the best thing since that. And that is the highest compliment that I can pay as an OWASP nerd and enthusiast. Okay, so now that we think that we want the same things that the DevOps folks want, how do we make that a reality? So we need to learn the 3 ways of DevOps. So there are 3 ways, basically things that we need to do to make sure that we're actually doing DevOps. So DevOps is not just, we installed some pipeline software and, like, one of the devs teams is using it, we do DevOps. Nope, I disagree. I read the DevOps Handbook, the Phoenix Project, the Unicorn Project, and Accelerate, which are all awesome books, which I should share a link at the end actually to a book review. I wrote about them, but basically the blog post is just me fangirling. But basically all of these books, written by a whole bunch of brilliant humans that, like, were part of the start and, like, perfecting of the DevOps movement. The idea is that if you have these 3 things, that then you're doing DevOps. So the first thing is you need to emphasize the efficiency of the entire system and not just your part. So I've worked at lots of places where we have big silos, and quite often, if you could break those silos down, you might see, oh, my part's actually really quite efficient and fast right now. I should go lend a hand at this other part so that I can start receiving things quicker. And that is what it focuses on, efficiency of the entire system, not just your part. So sometimes it means going and working with other teams, which is really important. The next one is fast feedback loops. So we want feedback now. That is why waterfall doesn't work out so often, because you don't get feedback until after 9 months or a year. And your clients, first of all, things might have changed. Your client has changed their opinion. There's just so many, you could be on the wrong path. And quite often there's misunderstandings and miscommunications. And if you can get feedback constantly, that means you can save so much time and money and heartache. And then the last one is continuous learning, risk-taking, experimentation, failing fast, and spending time working on improving your daily work. So I wish that there was one fancy word that I could use for that, but the idea is that if we don't try things, we won't know if there's, like, a better way for us to do it. So run an experiment, like where you take metrics, And then you see like, oh, actually, this tool is actually way more effective than that tool. Or we could put these two tools together and then we would get even better results. And if you don't take the time to improve your daily work, then you'll just keep doing things the old way. And that is definitely not what DevOps is about. Okay, so now like I've kind of given a brief overview of the 3 ways of DevOps. Now I want to talk about specific actions that you can do to go kick butt at this. All right, the first way, emphasize the efficiency of the entire system. So some people call this left to right or speed, or see my super fancy animation, right? Obviously I should work for Pixar someday with my amazing skills. I'm being sarcastic. But the point is that we want to go fast. So below that, so that image at the bottom, the little arrows, is the system development lifecycle. You must have requirements. You have to know what you're building, because software developers will build you something, but it won't be what you want if you don't give them clear guidance. Then you need to design, plan out what you're doing, you code, you test, you release. And DevOps can do this like it's amazing. But the point is efficiency and speed. So what does this mean for DevOps? It means, first of all, we need your help. We really, really do. We as security people need your help assisting and tuning our tools, because we don't want to waste your time. We don't want to give you false positives. It means reusing known good code. So if you have a secure coding library, using those code samples instead of reinventing the wheel. It means, if you're going to release a container, make sure that's up to date or scanned before you release it, rather than releasing the same image all month, updating those containers so that you have the newest thing that day. Making negative unit tests. So I'll talk a little bit about that, but basically if you're going to write a whole bunch of unit tests, work with your security team to ensure some of those unit tests help you fail gracefully. So test that your application can handle bad input gracefully. We need your help running. So I'm going to talk about an asynchronous security pipeline. So we need you to participate in that. And most of all, the thing that we need from the DevOps team is the permission to fail the build if we find a serious security flaw. That's the thing we need the most for you. But this talk is not really aimed at DevOps. This talk is aimed at the security team. So I'm going to give you, so there's 7 slides where I do the photo slide, and this is where you can take a screenshot. So if you're on an Apple computer, you press the command button, the control button, and then the number 4, and then just drag it across. And then you have all your notes. Because I personally don't like typing notes while I'm listening. I have trouble doing both at the same time. So I made these for you. But this talk is more about security. So what does efficiency of the entire system and speed mean for security? It means we cannot slow down things. We can't be a gate, and we cannot break the build unless it's really serious, right? We can't break the build because, so I love security headers, but we can't break the build over one security header, and I love them. So it means we need to learn to fit our work into sprints if Dev and Ops are using sprints. So if they're doing 3-week time intervals where they release their code, that means we need to figure out how to do our work in those 3-week time intervals. So we can't do like a 6-week code review because the code base has completely changed in that time. That's not effective. So we need to review only parts of it or adjust ourselves in ways so that that works. And we need to focus on improving security for all the different value streams and show them how we're adding value to the end product. We can't say, because I said so. That doesn't work unless you're talking to a 2-year-old, and most software developers are significantly older than 2. So we need to treat them like the adults they are and actually explain, why the risk matters and exactly what we need from them. So we can't have Dev and Ops just waiting on us all the time. We can't be the bottleneck. We need to work within their processes. And if we are creating our own processes, we need to make sure it works with theirs. I have seen so many security professionals who care a lot, but they aren't thinking outside their own box. And, for instance, creating an 80-page architecture document that they're expecting teams to fill out, and that never gets filled out. That's not happening. Let's create processes that actually work, that enable them to create secure software. So the next one is, I mentioned this briefly on the last slide, but we can break up our work into smaller pieces so that it fits into a sprint. So let's go back to code review. Review code for one feature, or for just the new code, or break up the application into different sections with different goals. You can do this with your dynamic application security testing. You can do this with threat modeling. There's so many ways that you can break things into smaller pieces. It's also extremely important that we tune our tools and retune them and listen to Dev and Ops when they give us feedback. If they're telling us, this is not working well for us, this is not helping us, we need to listen and then adjust, right? Because they'll go around us, because they have the power. Software developers make something out of nothing every day, and they don't have to wait for us. They're doing it because they're supposed to. They don't actually need to. And another item on this is, if at all possible, provide secure templates for them. If you can ever provide templates for them to use that are self-service, please, 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 please do, because that helps save a lot of time, and it also can create good relations when they know they can count on you. Okay, so this is the next photo slide. I would like to tell you during this slide that a secure coding library is a great thing, but you need to work with the software developers to create it. Do not just go into their code repo and start messing around. A code repository is like a woman's purse. You do not just put your hands in it. We are security people. It belongs to them, and so you need to respect that, or it won't go well. Okay, next slide. So what else does this mean for security? So a thing that I've seen a lot of people talk about and that I've done, and I'm a giant tech nerd, so I just find it fun. You can create more than one pipeline for the same app. So you can have the release pipeline, and that's the pipeline that goes to prod. And you can just have your very serious security tests in there, but you can have an asynchronous or parallel security pipeline that does all the slow tests that you want. So, I want to run a static application security testing SAST exercise on the entire code base, and I know it's going to take 18 hours. So you can just kick that off on Friday and come see the results on Monday and not annoy anyone. So when you put that in the release pipeline, you're ruining everyone else's day on that team. But if you have your own asynchronous pipeline, you're not bothering anyone, and you're still getting cool results, and you're still using automation. You can chain all your security tools together and then go dig around in the results on Monday. It's really, really nice. Another thing for security is, if you can, buy licenses for security tools. If the developers really want, OWASP Zap, which is free, or if they want, Burp Suite, or they want Fiddler, or they want whatever it is that they want. If it's a thing that they want and you can afford it, buy them a license, because they are doing some of your work for you, and that's really great. I love it when other people do my work. Trust me. So just this repeats what I was just saying. So we'll just continue on. So there's more things for security. This does not mean doing 100% of the security work yourself. That is impossible. You can't do that. So this means teaching Dev and Ops and enabling them to do some of the work. It also means potentially writing your own cool libraries or tools if you feel that you have a really specific need and there's nothing on the market that can do that for you. Be creative and do anything you can to make sure that they can get their jobs done securely. I've seen so many creative ideas on this. So Here is the next photo slide. And I'm realizing I have to go faster because I only have 13 minutes left and I am like halfway through. Okay, so faster feedback. I call this pushing left or shifting left if you are invited. So starting security earlier in the system development lifecycle, let's get people feedback right away. So how do we do that? So developers and ops want feedback right away. Great, let's give it to them. So first of all, this is a slide that the Ponemon Institute created. This is the cost of finding a bug, a security bug or any kind of bug later in the system development lifecycle. What you don't see here, this is in production if you find it. We would have to, I don't even know how much money it would be if there's a breach, if there's a data breach, if there's a security incident. It's just like the chart of money just goes like this. It is way, way, way more expensive to find a bug later. And this is for security bugs or security flaws. So like a design issue, a business logic issue. When I show this to management, it helps me get them on board for allowing me to start security earlier. So feel free to screenshot this because this is great. So what does this mean for Dev and Ops? It means providing feedback to the security team about things that you are concerned about. Please tell us, we don't know. It might seem very obvious to you, but if we're doing it, it's probably because it's not obvious to us. We're not like, no, it'll be great. Let's annoy the dev team a lot and agitate them and cause them problems. That is not a conversation that's happening on any security team ever. We probably just are oblivious because it's not part of our work, our daily work. So then the security team, when you hear this, we need to listen and then we need to take action. That is important. So we need to listen, thank them for their feedback, try not to get defensive when they call our baby ugly, and then we need to take action and improve. We also need the Dev and Ops team to participate if we have security activities, like if we have a threat modeling exercise, if none of you show up, that means we're missing out on your opinions and your ideas, and that sucks because you're awesome. That's why you work where we work, right? And another thing is, if a major security test fails, it needs to break the build, just like a quality test. And this is kind of, it's like a change in decision-making process, like a thought process that we need the Dev and Ops team to take on, that security is a part of quality. And if a big security test fails, that means your build is not quality and it can't pass. Okay, so next, what does this mean for security? So besides the fact that it means pushing left, and I love that, just to be clear, it also means we need to provide feedback earlier and way, way more often. We cannot just hire a penetration tester to come in 2 weeks before we go live and then tell them, you know, there's like 25 security problems. We need to be looking at those requirements at the very beginning. We need to review the design with them, threat model with them. Like we need to start at the beginning, just like they do. We want to automate as much of this as we can so that they don't have to wait on us. We want to teach them to understand what the results of our security tools are telling them whenever possible, so they don't have to wait on us. And we need to be very careful not to give false positives because that breaks trust. It wastes their time and it causes doubt in every other result we give them. So it's really, really important that we work hard not to give them false positives. Another thing is, we really, really need to listen to their feedback. I know I said that in another slide, but I made a whole slide just to impress upon you how important that is. If they give us feedback and we ignore it, that is the start of the end. Okay, so here is a whole bunch of things. Netflix created a tool called RepoKid, and it's open source, and it helps you automate least privilege, and I think that's wicked cool. There's startups coming up with like even more advanced things than RepoKid, but it is really, really cool. And they got that idea from listening to their Dev and Ops teams and then changing their actions based on that feedback. And That is why it's extra cool. Okay, so what does this mean for security? It means, so unit tests are positive tests. A test, does my code do what it's supposed to do? Negative unit tests, does my app fail gracefully if bad things happen to it? And if we can make negative unit tests, if we can work for software developers to create these, we can have regressive security testing, and that is magical. Like if you've had a pen test done, put those results into unit tests. Like there's so many cool things that you can do with unit tests, but it only works if you talk to your dev and ops team. Also, invite dev and ops to participate in security activities. You might be surprised. You might find a whole bunch of security champions that are just waiting to happen. So if there's an incident, if you can bring someone along, if you're allowed, threat modeling, security sprints, etc., like let them know they're welcome and wanted, and you might be surprised by who shows up, and the relationships that you can form, and how much that can help you with the rest of the project. Another thing is use tools like vulnerability management tools to gather metrics, and then base your activities on metrics. Once I started getting data about things, oh my gosh, I put this down, start doing this, put all our money here, put our time there. Because if you're gonna run an experiment, you have to measure to know that you've done a good job. And if you're not taking the data out of all of your tools and then analyzing it, you are missing out on a huge opportunity. I know I'm a data nerd, so I'm like, I seem really biased, but I'm biased because it's awesome. I also think it's important that if you get a pen test done, that you take those results and then search every single app in your wheelhouse for those same problems, because quite frankly, your developers developed all your apps and they probably made that same mistake elsewhere. And so you can get more value from that one external security tester than they might realize. But basically, be creative. That's what I would like. I would like you to be creative. Yes. Okay, so here is slide number 5. These slides are on the internet, so if you missed a chance to take a picture of one of them, and I'm pretty sure this is being recorded, so you will be able to review it later. Okay, next. So continuous learning, full circle. I don't have a cute ASCII image for this. I know, right? This is why I wasn't hired by Pixar. Okay, so what does this mean for dev and ops? If we offer you security training, please come, we need you. You can train yourselves. There are so many free resources. I'm going to share a few at the end. Share information widely. When you find a security bug, tell everyone else about it. Like, tell everyone how you fixed it or how this cool thing happened. Share information. I know that sometimes software developers can be shy. Send an email, it's less scary, but share the information. If we have a security simulation or a security exercise, and by that I mean a fake security incident where we practice and refine our processes, participate if you can, because it's super fun. It's so fun. But for security, it means we need to offer security training. And I don't mean don't click this link. I mean secure code training. I mean training on how to follow our policies. I mean secure design training. We need to show them how to threat model. We need to teach them these skills if we expect them to have these skills. You can't expect the average software developer to understand how to create perfectly secure code. And we also should base this training off of the metrics we find. So for instance, if you are seeing cross-site scripting everywhere across your organization, that should be the first lesson that you teach. Another thing it means for security is if you have the resources, run a security simulation. You would be surprised all the problems that you will find out and that you can fix before real incidents happen. You'll also probably figure out that your other teams don't know what you need from them. And then you will realize there's training that is missing. It is our job to teach dev and ops how to do their job securely. It is our job to enable them with the tools and the knowledge they need. That's what I want to get across so much in this slide. So this is photo slide number 6. We are winding down because I have 3 minutes left. So what else does this mean for security? It means we must perform blameless postmortems when we have an incident. Pointing fingers will not get us what we want. And it means we should talk about security incidents after they are over and closed so that developers know what the cost is and they understand the risk. If we keep it all a secret, they won't understand. We need them on our side, so we need to talk to dev and ops like the adults they are. It also means teaching developers and ops what the output from the security tools means. It means putting all of this stuff into a knowledge base or buying access to a knowledge base so that we don't have to repeat the same lessons over and over again and they can do self-service. It means creating lunch and learn opportunities, like writing emails or white papers, allowing job shadowing, like doing whatever you can to make sure they know everything they need to know to create really secure software and systems. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about culture change in the 2 minutes that are left. So security needs to become a part of DevOps. We need to change culture. And this means we need to reinforce culture change by celebrating wins. When a team does a good job, get them fruit or donuts or coffee or whatever it is that is the thing in your office that people do. Reward good behavior and especially recognize good behavior. Tell their boss. If there is a software developer or an ops person that goes above and beyond, send an email to their boss to say it. That means so much. Try to work more closely, actually spend time with them, attend their social events. They are humans, you might like them. Having relationships is all about what AppSec is about. We can't blame people. Like I said, when we do postmortems, it's not Alice's fault or Bob's fault. It's what safeguard is missing, what process is broken, what policy doesn't exist and needs to. I cannot tell you how much this matters because I have made this mistake and had to eat a lot of dirt and humble pie. Also, if you can create a security champions, I chose this photo because I was just like, she's a badass. Like I want her to be my security champion. Those are the people that go out and help you fight the good fight. They are your representatives when you're not there. And if you can encourage someone to become a security champion, buy them a book, send them a podcast or an article you think they might like all of that relationship building will pay off tenfold. Okay, so I have a call to action. I would like you as a security professional to take this very seriously and it is your job to enable dev and ops to do their jobs securely. It's our job to enable them, to teach them, to help them automate, to give them feedback constantly. If you can do anything, take this message home, that is our main responsibility. Now, free resources, because that is how I end every presentation. I'm sorry, I'm like 1 minute over. So OWASP, join OWASP, follow DevSecCon and the open community that they have created. My DevSecOps. Join your local OWASP chapter. If you're lost and you don't know how to do something, when you go in your favorite search engine and you're like, ooh, cross-site request forgery, I don't know how to do this, put in OWASP. It will find you a good answer. Or look me up. I have stuff too, but look up that first. If you are a woman or identify as a woman, WOSEC, Women of Security, we welcome you. We have chapters all over the world. We have virtual activities and every single thing is free. If you want to make lots of other women friends, that's basically what we want. We want women to join InfoSec and then we want them to have so much fun that they stay. And, oh, this should say Cyber Mentoring Monday. Okay, the hashtag is Cyber Mentoring Monday. Every Monday I run this hashtag to help people find professional mentors on Twitter. Use the hashtag Cyber Mentoring Monday. I will retweet you every Monday until you find a professional mentor to help you join our field or switch within our field or whatever it is that you need. because we will never have senior security engineers if we don't have junior security engineers. And the last resource is me. Follow me. Go to my website. Go follow me on Twitter, read my blogs, and check out my YouTube. I am a giant nerd on the internet at large, and I release so much stuff. And lots of it's free because I'm bad at business but good at AppSec. And so I hope today, what have we learned? We've learned security is now a part of DevOps, and that makes us DevSecOps. Thank you so much for coming to my presentation today. I really hope that I have given you things that you should run off and do as soon as this conference is over and you've had some sleep. So thank you. Thank you, Simon, for having me.
Thank you so much. And if you take one thing away from this presentation, please follow She Hacks Purple on Twitter, because there is so much amazing content that Tanya has, and it's the best follow you'll have this year. So please go and do that as well. Tanya, thank you so much for your support for DevSecCon, not just today but over the years. And we look forward to seeing you again in person at a future event, hopefully, as long as those plane things, I think they're playing.
Yeah, those airplane things.
Yeah, as long as those things start flying again. So thank you very much, and we'll speak to you again soon.